welcome everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. Um, Today we'll be speaking with Ghost Girl Ghouls Paranormal Investigative Team, and learning about their paranormal investigations and paranormal experiences. I'm gonna go bring up everybody now. Um, there's Jax, my co-host. There's Kayla, which is and here's Jenna, and here's Tony, and here is Jenna again. Well, okay, Jenna. Okay, so how's it going, guys?
Hi, good.
Um, so um, so tell me what. I guess I'm gonna ask one by one. What got you interested in the paranormal?
Me personally, I was never into this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of was with a friend and we saw a paranormal night happening and we decided to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I met Jen, Kayla, and Jana. They were there and it was a fun night. There was a lot of people there, but they stood out and we all started talking. And I don't remember how, but I think I texted Jen the day after on Facebook and was like, "Oh, that was fun. Like, bring me along or something next time." And that's how I really got into it because they started taking me along with them on stuff. So that's how I started because I never really did any stuff like this before.
Awesome.
Myself, I wanted to get into it. I bought Kayla, who is my sister-in-law, bought her tickets to go to Eastern State Penitentiary on a ghost hunt, just to do it because I was interested in doing it and I had nobody to do it with. So we started out that way, and then we kind of got hooked doing it that way. And then from there, it kind of right to Jen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then we invited Jen on the next one.
Nice, awesome. So, Jen, what do you think about that? Like, man, um, is that's how you got interested in paranormal?
How I got interested? No, I was interested. I've always been interested.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch all those ghost hunting shows. Taps, the ghost hunters. They were like the first inspiration, and how they went into their investigations and debunking and stuff like that. I thought it was really fascinating. But when I was younger, I had two experiences that kind of like had me questioning things,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't know it was something you could go do until Jana took Kayla, and I was like, "Hey, thanks for the invite." And then she found this group that does it, and they said, "Hey, if you want to come along." And then that was our first investigation, and ever since then, it's been like an addiction.
Nice, awesome. So, what about you, Kayla?
I actually have always kind of been into it. When I was little, I was that weird kid who saw shadow people all the time. My brother will to this day bring it up and tease me about it, but I am convinced that they were real and I was not nuts growing up. But then when Jana mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, I'm like totally down for that. Like, it's something I always wanted to like dive more into, because when you get older, you kind of outgrow those things and you just think, oh, it's just whatever. But it was nice because I know that like those things are real and it's just very fascinating and it's kind of addicting. Like they said, like once you start, you just want more and more and more answers to everything.
Do you guys feel like do you guys do it for the thrill or you guys do it for the evidence?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. I'd say both. Like we want answers. Like it's more of like literally investigating, like trying to figure out like what is legit. Like what is it? What's causing this? And debunking is like our biggest thing. We love that.
Awesome. So I know, being part of an investigator, what must you see when you go into like any location?
See, as far as
Like sort of like, I know a lot of people say you got always got a suspicious mind what's going on around you, the hearing awareness, being respectful towards the spirits. A lot of people say, um, oh, I'm going to give them 2 minutes to answer. If not, then I'm just going to get out of here. I mean, there's no way a spirit can answer you, right when you say to answer them. Like, I mean, what's one way you guys are respectful towards spirits, and when you go into investigation too as well?
I know for us, we don't like kind like the way I think about it is we don't like poking the bear. Like we're just there to get answers. We don't really like trying to get. We don't want to get them aggravated at us. We're just there to talk to them and see what their story is. I know like certain channels and even certain shows try and kind of push it to a
Mhm.
limit to try and make them mad.
Yeah.
But the way we try to be respectful is like if you don't. I know a lot of times on investigations we ask like, if you don't want to talk to us, just say so and we'll leave. And if they say so, we'll leave.
we're coming into their space.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's their home or their place that they've been. So we're trying to be respectful to them.
Another thing is they were once human, they were once alive. So you treat them as if they're still alive. You be respectful.
They might not know they're dead as well. So
True. But
Exactly.
how do you guys come like about that though? Like, to actually, I know you're not supposed to let them know they're dead, but like, do you guys have them cross over? What do you guys think about that?
We don't have the power to help
Okay.
them cross over if that's what they want. But not only that though, that's not what we're kind of doing. Like we're
Yeah.
not mediums, we're not psychic,
Yeah.
we're just kind of there to investigate, to get answers,
Mhm.
and get evidence.
Mhm.
And we
Um.
typically go into a location and we will just introduce ourselves. Hi, we are here to talk to you. We are here to get your story, and
Mhm.
we'll introduce ourselves, and hopefully they will introduce themselves.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same thing with Jen. I mean, we're not mediums, we're not psychics, so we kind of just go in it looking for evidence, answers.
Mhm.
I mean, even like if we can solve something and like like ask questions that maybe no one else knows, you know what I mean? Like try and figure out something that happened in the house that these people who live in the house or own the house still don't have answers to, stuff like that. I like that type of stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Um. Anybody else have any say about that, or Jenna, Kayla?
No, I feel the same way. I mean, and we go into it with just basically asking them, why are you here? Like, not saying, how did you die right away or anything like that, just so they can let us know why they're here. Because, like she said, like, you don't know if they know they're dead or not. So we just kind of go in respectful and just, like Jen said, talking to them like they're, still with us and they're not, just spirits.
There's someone. Hey, Tony, what's up? When you go into investigation, do you go in blind, like blindfolded, I guess, not knowing the history, so you find out what's she saying? You put it back up, Jax, please. Oh, so do you find out on your way? Is there a spirit?
So yes and no.
Oh, sorry.
Um, Typically, the places that we go to, we know have activity because of they're advertising that, or other YouTubers or investigators have gone there. They've captured evidence. So typically, the locations that we're going to are known to have activity or haunted. Um, but I like to go in blind.
Yeah.
So I don't always read into the history. I'll know a little bit about it, but I want to be more, because I don't want to go in with preconceived notions or, ideas.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. When you go into property, does it feel like? Do you guys have like what kind of feelings do you guys feel when you go into a location? Like, tell me more about it. Like, how do you enter the property and what kind of equipment you use and stuff like that?
Oof, we have a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to set it up?
There's so much. We have SLS camera, music box, REM pod, the Boo Bear,
Mm,
balls. We have a lot.
wow.
Um, Now, me personally, when we go into a location, I don't know if I feel anything. I don't really think I'm sensitive. I don't know if I'm sensitive, to be honest.
Mhm.
I don't feel anything. Jen and Kayla, on the other hand, that's their territory. They feel everything and anything.
Did you guys want to talk about that, Kayla? What kind
Sure.
of feeling?
I tend to like, it's like almost the same feeling you kind of get when you get like anxiety. Like your heart races, and it's funny because like Jen and I, we never really talked about that. And when we did Penhurst, I was like checking my pulse and stuff, and she's like, "Is your heart racing too?" And we kind of like put that like that, but we're also like easily oppressed. I noticed that you know, I've had it happen twice to me now where spirit was able to manipulate my emotions. I had an episode of crying and I also had an episode of like manic laughter. I don't know if you've seen the first Selma video,
Yeah, I
but
did.
that was embarrassing. Um, so that happened. But it's like a feeling that you get and like you just know. And it's a different feeling for negative and positive. Like sometimes you get like really happy and then other times like you get like super anxious and it's like you need to leave.
So that's the spirits making you feel that way, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy, huh? Like, think about all the spirits that died in those locations and stuff like that, and they're just like showing you what they went through and how they felt when they died. Like they're very lonely. Some. Yeah. Um. So what do you think about, like, have you ever went into a room that felt like dead air, like kind of like, like you just couldn't breathe because of the environment around you?
I wouldn't say like not be able to breathe, but it does, you can feel the heaviness in the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been there one time. I was working security one time, and like I was walking upstairs. And it was one of those Victorian homes. We done security, and like you could feel the heaviness, like inside of you. It's like it's just pushing you down. Like it doesn't want you there. I don't know if that's how it feels, or
Yeah, sometimes for sure.
how about like, can you smell like cigarette smoke and stuff like that, or like such and such, like when you're in a location?
Smells are. I know. There's sometimes like for some locations we get there's smells. Um, I don't know if I've ever actually experienced smelling something that they've said that like has been in locations. I don't know about the others, but me personally, I don't think I've ever actually smelled something that they've said, like cigar smoke or
Hmm.
alcohol or whiskey and all that. I've never personally experienced that.
Okay, cool. So what do you have you guys ever smelled or felt like that? So felt something next to you that like it's a strong scent to y'all?
I don't think so. Not really.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Mm-mm.
smelt anything yet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know at my mom's, sometimes I'll smell my grandmother's perfume, so maybe I guess that could kind of count as that
Mhm.
because she
Sorry,
did pass there and
sorry about that.
oh no, it was a while ago, but thank you. I appreciate that. um yeah, so it's crazy that because it's like long gone. I think that was like 10, maybe like almost 8 years ago, and I can still smell her perfume, so it's definitely something. But never on an investigation.
Okay. Also, like, another question, like, so when you're doing a group investigation, do you guys have like some walkie talkies? You guys can say, "Hey, that was me opening the door," or like moving around, or you guys all together at once, or how does that work?
We're usually all together at once. If I do,
Okay, okay, you guys don't split up like in
we
your own.
they split up. I don't split up, but they split up a lot. I
Oh,
don't know.
So we don't even have walkie-talkies. I've heard that they can kind of mess with your equipment. So I think I prefer not to really have them. For the most part, we'll stay together and investigate. If we do like an alone challenge, we'll go to a completely separate area, like the other three, and the other person will stay in their area. And we'll try either to go far away as possible and be quiet, or we'll do our own little investigation. So I think it depends on the location.
But if we're all together and we are investigating together, or something like that, we will tell that was me. Or if we call, we clear our throat, that was us. We will just let the other person that was us. That wasn't something that.
Yeah, we have a lot of grumbly bellies.
Because
we always eat first.
I do. Well, when I do a live, I've never really, felt how it is to be in the haunted location because I just interview. That's it. Like I
Don't
want
let him
to.
follow you. He's got something in his house too.
Oh, I
Paranormal
do.
follows
Yeah.
you.
Well,
My
fiance
saying that you smell perfume. You smell it when like that same thing happens to me. All four of my children, all four nurses had to come up and tell us there's no smoking allowed in the hospital. Would you see anybody smoking? We smelled my grandfather's cigars. Is pipe tobacco. All four of my children. And the last hospital my mom worked in, and they said, Margaret, you need to go up there and tell your daughter there's no smoking. My mom walks in and hits her really heavy, and she goes, that's not cigarette smoke, that's London Dock tobacco, and that's from my father.
Wow.
So babies, you can smell like tobacco, pipe tobacco. It's pungent, it's strong.
Oh yeah, totally different. Yeah.
I birth all four of my kids. Do I smell it now? Once in a while, but it's like someone was smoking in the room. Literally, no problem. It was that strong.
that's crazy.
It gives me chills when I hear about that because I know he was there. Because he died when I was 8. So.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just to know that, like, you smelled your grandma's perfume, she's there. It's nice to know she's watching. She's watching over you. I think they all, some way, our loved ones watch over us when they go. Like,
but that's kind of weird. Like, like smelling smoke, smelling just anything that like. One time last night, she's not weird. My fiance is just not weird. She's the one that smells like like
he's weird.
Yeah, she smells smoke and everything else, and I'm like, where's the smoke coming from? Or I hear the microwave going off at 3:00 in the morning. I'm just like, who's up? And then I got these bathroom. No one's not even out here.
Shut up.
What the hell?
Shut up. Your microwave's going off. Don't tell me that. Microwave's going off a million.
Yeah.
Yes.
I even told Fran that last night. It was not
maybe our microwaves are trying to each other.
I'm serious.
Ours
it did.
Tonight too. Mine does too. Like Morse code. Like beep. It beeps a lot, right? It beeps.
It's in our closet. I don't know what it is. It's in our closet.
Yeah, it's
in the bathroom too. Even told my fiance out the closet too. In the bathroom. And she's taking a shower. Wait, she's about to take a shower, and the guy goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Wow."
Well, she thought it was Eli. She goes, "You know what I'm doing?"
Oh,
shower. She comes down. She says, "I wasn't even in there." Don't call me to the stream. She's like, "Why did you ask you what I was doing?" And Eli goes, "I didn't ask you what you were doing."
Yeah.
They can mimic your voices. They can mimic your voices. And like the same thing happens like here. Like my boyfriend calls me darling. He's deep Southern Texas boy. And he'll say, "Hey, darling." And I said, "Well," I said, "What?" And I kept saying, what? Because I'm in the kitchen. And I come in and I said, "Don't you hear me calling you? What do you need?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Didn't you call my name?" He goes, "No."
Oh, wow.
So when you hear it, you're hearing what you're hearing, but if they're not saying it, who's saying
it? Yeah.
I got a good question. What's the difference between the EVP and the DVP?
Oh,
Use a
a
microphone.
what?
A
An
EVP and a DVP.
A DVP?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think
I've
I've never even heard of that.
I've never heard of a DVP.
Me either.
A DVP is a direct voice phenomenon. It's when you're in there, say you're in a room or something, and you hear it here, not through the ghost box, not through.
Oh, like a disembodied
Yeah,
voice.
like it just
Body voice. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like some
What-
people hear it. Like I'd much rather
Yeah.
go in, not use equipment and hear it. I'd be like, oh,
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
you know, that's so much better. And even if, like, there's so many people say, oh, well, I didn't get it on film. That's okay. Who cares?
Yeah.
You heard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that means an investigator, I think that jazzes them up more to go, I gotta go hear it.
Yep.
I
When
think
you
it's
hear
kind of different too.
You can.
You know,
Yeah.
hearing it in person
Yeah.
is like a
Weird.
personal experience. You may not always capture it on like film. So
Yep.
that's like just a personal thing where like an EVP is something that you actually have to be like, look, I caught this. And we've had both.
amazing
Mhm.
direct voice though. When you know you're in there and you're quiet, and there's no, like, I've got a lot of friends that do this. Jared Tracy does it, or Pasadena Paranormal. No equipment, no nothing, and you'll hear a spirit talk. That's the
Yeah.
most bomb ass shit I've ever heard. It's like no equipment. It's like you hear them. But
Yep.
Eli and I have this thing. He says, we had this thing posted up on our video when we first used to do it. He says, if you listen, you'll hear them. Because when
that's
you
what I-
really go in there, do they really know what
If you
it
can
is?
just listen without
They
any
don't-
equipment, yeah, it's
I
weird.
mean,
like when
it's
I
hard.
passed away. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like people try, I have cat balls,
You
GoPro.
have someone in your house now?
What's up, Jax?
Is there somebody in your house now?
No, that's my fiance. She's walking.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Oh
Grandma.
no.
Sure.
No. Nah.
The ghost up to the demon in my house. See it right there? Eli, there's your demon.
There you go. So
I'm not. Eli's around. I'm not allowed to. He takes his side all the time.
yeah. So I know you guys investigated the Selmer Mansion. Did you guys want to talk about that? Like experience your own experience, like voices and smells and all that other good stuff. Like
Yeah, Soma was something. Yeah, I'm assuming you watched the video, but maybe you didn't. But that's where I was. What we can only call, I guess, a possession at this point. I know me and Jen talked about it. It's weird calling it a possession because truly we don't even know if that's what it was. But I wasn't myself, and I know that. And I told them when we rewatched it that when they were touching the safe and like I back up and I say stop touching it, I told them, I don't remember if we got it in video, but I blacked out. I don't remember that. I don't remember anything until we were upstairs and outside.
oh wow.
Yeah, so Selma definitely was crazy for me when we went back again because we were there twice. But oh man, Selma was really good. I mean, not only to that, but before that, we were getting some responses and stuff. Stuff was lighting up. So Selma to me was very interesting, but that definitely takes the cake. That was something.
You guys did a good investigation on Selma. I mean,
Oh yeah, I like that one.
I've seen people do Selma, and you guys did a good job. It's like
Thank you.
when they're crazy, it just you guys are you just walk in there, go hi, hello, we're here. You know,
Yeah.
you said you introduced yourselves, and I think that's important. Some people just go balls to walls in places, don't say, they don't knock, they don't say nothing, and then wonder why they get no response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be respectful, and I would get more responses from, you know, like you said, some don't even know they're dead. They don't even know they passed.
Hey, Brent,
They're still living.
That's another
Like
thing.
they're living. They don't see that they're dead. They see somebody strange coming in their house. So if you introduce, you know, and I think it's you know it's respect. It's what it is. It's respectful. Bottom line, you have to have it to be an investigator. Like Like me and Eli were talking, like, I'm going to do it. And one day, Eli, I'm going to take him out. One day, I'm going to get the text and we're going to take him on location. We'll take him.
Nah, I'll be
And he
like,
goes,
hell
well, what
no.
happens? I said, sit down so you can't run. We're not going to run. We're going to face it. Eli goes, no, I'm going to run. I said, no, I'm going to knock you over.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't face that. Like, like sometimes you just got to respect and be like, okay, I'm going to stay away. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to
Face
respect.
death. You can face a little spooky spook.
Hey, I've seen her already. I experienced the other way. So that's the worst.
When we I know Jen said it too, and we all talk about it. We're not actors. When we walk into a location, when we're off camera, that's how we act too. That's just us.
Okay.
Love
Tell me step by step when you walk into a location. Tell me everything like you do.
we just goof off.
Well, you got to have some fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
9 times out of 10, we walk in and we're just like, we're here, hi. Like
Pretty much every time, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people treat it more like a social experiment. They don't try and interact with human. They try and just they're there to capture something, and we are too, but they don't talk to it like it's human. They talk to it like it's
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say, right? Like it's
I know what you mean. Like if you go in there and you feel like, you feel scared and negative, they're going to be negative back at you and frightened as well, because they see you as their enemy because you're in their place,
Yeah.
And of course they're going to say, who are you? What are you doing here? But if you go in there and antagonizing it and be like, yeah, talk to me now, you got to feel like, like you're there to be their friend, understand where they're coming from and what they're going through on their time in their space.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't care. Some people you go into those the like you did the sanitary what was it called? You did to a Crescent. People there were like abused. They were belittled. And then you go in there and you try to like rile them up. It's like that's where their final breath was taken, in a place with no family, no nothing. And you're gonna go in there and harass them? Bet you get chased out. Why would I want to provoke something like that? I've seen the Crescent on the inside. My friend Patty did it. And she was in that big area where you guys can charge all the batteries and stuff like that. Well, she calls me. She goes, I can't be alone in here. I'm going, what you want to do? She goes, duo me. So I'm on the screen watching stuff. She goes, do you hear that? You literally heard the walking. Like that place is active. So active. But that's a big place too. Y'all did a good job. That place is huge.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
It is big.
How long did it take you guys to do the whole thing? Did you get to do the whole thing?
No. There's like 22 buildings.
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna say,
know.
yeah.
I would be scared to go in there. Like I'd be like, I like to see the cool like the art they did with like how do the walls and the whatever doors, how it's so old, full of history. I would like.
It was a prison too, right?
Yeah. It was.
Was it a prison too?
Yeah.
A prison?
It was.
It was.
A hospital? And what was it was like 3 things.
It was a school too, like a
school. Yeah, they had a schoolhouse he built.
That's weird, man. I'm
reform
sorry.
school or something like that.
It was a reform
He was
school
a weird man. He really was weird. He built just buildings for nothing. Like a school he built, hospital. But can you imagine all that energy from a prison, from a psychiatric hospital to everything, all that energy into one and all those buildings?
Yeah.
I hope one day someone can go through and do the whole thing. Because, I'd like to see the other buildings, but sometimes you just don't have time for it.
I know some are kind of off limits now, and it's very expensive. Not gonna lie, to have the whole property to yourself, it's expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard it was very.
It was so expensive for.
Probably
pay to keep.
Numerous reasons.
They have to pay to if it's falling apart. They get that money they use. Stop. That money they use to build if they said ceilings falling in.
Yeah.
They remodel it. That's what they use the money for. That's why it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that place in the mountains? Oh, I can't remember where it is. Waverly Hills.
Mm.
Now that
Yeah.
costs a lot of money. You can't fix that. That thing is beyond repair. But they have to still keep it to where the snow doesn't get in there and stuff like that. That's on my bucket list.
Well,
But
they,
you guys,
Yeah.
you guys have to like. Go ahead. Go ahead.
they got to keep insurance and stuff like that on there.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Don't want
expensive.
shaft.
You guys sign? Did you guys sign like a waiver if something
Yeah.
happens to you guys?
Yeah, every single
Every place
Yeah.
sure.
requires a waiver.
Yep.
Wow. Um, this is for Kayla. A question right here.
All right. It says, how old were you when you saw a shadow person? Did it get less as you got older? Did you feel like you were in slow motion when you saw it? It was when I was a kid. It was like constant. It was like every night I would wake up and it would be in my room. I didn't feel like I was in slow motion though, and I've seen them. It's like pretty much stopped for a long period of time, and then we started investigating, and I've seen quite a few, but they're really fast. So
Wow.
you always think like they're really quick about it. Like it's always like the corner of your eye or something. It's really rare for me to see it like head on anymore, but
Yeah.
they're coming back.
When you see that, Kayla, like how do you feel? Like when you see that and you're like, whoa, what is that? Like a face or something? Like what's your first thought?
It's like a human response to like just say no, it was just nothing. Like that's just naturally what you do. Like when Jan and I went to the prison, I saw like a full person run past a jail cell, because the first place we went to was in Philly, Eastern State Penitentiary, and and it's funny because like I like kind of like made a weird face and just looked away, and the person's like, did you see a shadow person? And I was like, maybe. And they're like, that's what a lot of people see there. And I didn't want to say anything because I don't want people to think I'm making stuff up, so I just kept it to myself. But
yeah.
you just naturally try to talk yourself out of seeing that.
Wow, that is creepy, man. And like when you hear like a voice, like a DVP, you know, when you're in a property, like, and someone says, "Hey, come here," you know what I mean? Like, and there's no one around you. Let's say I know you guys are together, but like you guys know each other's voices, you know, because they can mimic your voices.
Yes.
Let's say like you're in the bathroom and on the property and stuff like that. Like, what's your first response? We're like, "Hey, you know what I mean? It's dark in the bathroom, and you're investigating. Let's say the bathroom, like." Jen, what do you think? How would you feel if you like felt the energy? Like, you know how someone's going over your shoulder? What would be your first reaction?
I don't know. I'm very very vocal and I'm very you know, I'm out there, so I honestly don't know. I probably would freak out a little bit and yell and curse. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe run away, and then kind of go back and be like, okay, what was that?
Oh yeah, no. Like, nope. How about you, Tony?
Oh, I'm never alone, so oh, I would just look over at someone and be like, "Did you hear that? Let's not stay in this room. Okay, let's go somewhere else."
So okay, we're just
yeah.
what? So were you a skeptic? Were you a skeptic first before you started this?
I don't know. Like, I was interested, but I never believed it. Even now, I actually just texted Jen before we started the podcast. I was like, I don't even know, like, because I get cold sometimes. Like, you know, you get the chills, but I always tell myself it's like, I don't know if that's just if I'm just cold or if it's something happening. Like, I always try and I don't know. I want to say I'm a skeptic, but at the same time, like, I'm not. Like, stuff happens, and obviously you can't explain it.
It's
So
true.
it's like,
I
it's
mean,
kind of like a, you know, a grain of salt.
I think everybody in the beginning when they do this is kind of a little skeptical because I mean, of course, we hear our own things. I mean, you go into places like, for instance, last year I'm shopping through going through Safeway, minding my own business. Loaf of bread flies right off the counter. I'm going, y'all saw that, right? And the guy in front of me, he just stopped. He goes, that was interesting. I'm like, welcome to my world. I'm just pushing my business, and this loaf of bread just flew off the shelf, right off the shelf.
That's crazy.
That happens to us all the time too. Where what's called HEB over in Texas, yeah, it falls off. It falls off, or candy falls off. We're like, what the hell? It's like, okay, I'll get that. You know?
But it was
See,
weird.
I'm
The
the
guy
kind of person.
in front of him went, that just happened.
Used to happen to ladies too, right?
I don't know. I'm the kind of person that I think I'd be like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't put on the shelf right, and it just fell off.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can go from its little tiny cubby to.
So what kind of protection do you guys use on the
Like this
investigation?
big, like, you know. But you know what you see, and sometimes when you say you're a skeptic, there's a lot of skeptics out there. Like Eli and I were talking about this one time. There's some people that go ghost hunting, and they are skeptics, but they're debunkers too. Like I think it's important to debunk. Like Eli and I were talking. Sometimes an old house is just an old house.
Yeah.
Mice.
No, Ryan, no way.
What? But sometimes when you explain all this stuff, you debunked all that stuff, and you hear something, you're going, okay, that's not a mouse, that's not a creak, that's you're hearing something, and I think that's what gets us excited. Like,
yeah, but
you guys get really hear something, it's like a brand new thing over and over and over again. I could never not get excited. I'm always going to get excited when I see something.
But at the same time, Jax, like when you're on location, like you're like everything's going through your mind. You're like, okay, what do I do first? How do I debunk this? How do I think that this is an animal doing the noise? How do I know there's a vagrant on the property? I mean, there's a lot of things that go through your mind, but you're not doing it. But when the investigation is over, you think, where did that noise come from? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to debunk something when everything's happening all at once. Personal experiences, EVPs, and everything that's going on all at once. How do you guys deal with that? How do you guys go back to that at that moment that it happens?
Well, sometimes it's hard too because some of the places we go, the owners are there and they have maybe animals or cats.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of hard because if we go through evidence, we don't know if it's the dogs or the cats or something making the noise. So it's kind of hard at places like that.
Yeah. Wow.
I know one thing that I do by accident when I get yelled at all the time for it too. I get, when you're doing investigations for a while and it's been like 6 hours, nothing happens, you get bored. So I sit there and I randomly start whistling because I'm just so bored, and I get yelled at it all the time. But I know like we always try and ask each other, like, did you make this noise? Or if we're reviewing the footage, like Jen will send it to me, Kayla, Jana, and just be like, did this happen or did you make that noise? Like, it's just we gotta like make sure we're not the ones making noises. Or maybe like another thing I know is some locations we go to, like the heat turns on and it makes this loud humming, and you just gotta make sure it's not that.
Yeah.
Or a giant clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At middle, no, it was a bit. It was
the Poor County, the Poor Farm.
Poor Farm. Oh, they have a huge clock, and that thing winds up whenever it feels like it, and it scares the bejesus out of you.
Wow, that's crazy. I would have been like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like,
I
would have freaked out, to be honest.
Freaked out. It's in the video. You can see me jumping, like twitching.
Like, oh no, hell no. So, what do you guys use for protection on a property, like with protection from the spirits, like crosses or like sage or crystals?
Yeah, like dark stones usually.
Crystals, and then when we leave, we tell them not to follow us. That's, I think, the most we do. And sometimes we forget to tell them to not follow us.
Do you guys start what kind of spirit box do you guys use?
We use asthma box.
Daniel, can you find the link?
Awesome. Because a lot of people kind of like up in the air about spirit boxes, I'm good. And what I was gonna say about that, do you guys pray before you guys turn it on and after, so they don't follow you home, or you think they'll do it anyways?
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, typically, I think humans and people are in general are kind of like taxis.
Mm-hmm.
They can go with you. so far I think we've been okay. The most we can really do is say, hey, you're not allowed to come with us. And hopefully we have that power and they don't come with us.
Wow.
Sometimes, but I think they go where they want to go. I think if you say you can't follow me home, like Eli, we're also talking about this. You tell you can't follow you home, but they kind of on their time and they're gonna do what they want to do and they gonna follow you home.
That's kind of that's why I kind of feel like humans are taxis. When you visit a place, they're able to kind of connect with you and they can go to another place and another place and
been there, done that.
Get attached to you because they like your presence or they remind you of somebody or
exactly.
For various reasons why they follow you home. I mean, I pray that people don't follow me home, but
have any spirits followed you home before?
Me. Always me. Yeah. I don't know if
he always gets the people follow him.
Yeah. I don't know if they follow him. My house is definitely like haunted. I text Jen sometimes. I'm like, hey, no one's home and someone's upstairs, man.
I feel like there's spirits all over though. They could be your family.
Yeah, some just walk through, you know what I mean? Like
I've never I have a video, I've never posted it or anything, but my family was on vacation. This was only a few months ago. My family was on vacation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn someone was in the hallway. So I put my music box down. The thing was just going off like crazy, and then it stopped, and then it went off again. But yeah. Scary.
Right.
So do you think do they just make noises, or do you hear them talking, or like is it just noise, or?
I haven't heard talking in a while. Like a while ago, I heard someone talking downstairs and no one was home, but that hasn't happened in a while. I'm gonna kind of just try to avoid it. I don't even try and communicate with them anymore because I just don't want to deal with it. But like when my parents are home, yeah, when my parents aren't home and I'm downstairs and I'm like making food, like I'll hear people walking upstairs. When I did communicate with them, I have an EVP somewhere. I gotta find the recorder. Like I didn't post any of this because it's like it's in my house, so I didn't really. It wasn't an investigation. It was just me doing stuff. I have an EVP, and I asked them to make knocks, and you can hear they do it like 4 times. They make 3 knocks every single time. But yeah, it's just.
They mock that 3 knocks every time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what the hell? I would have been like, "No, I'm moving out of here, Mom."
Yeah, I know what the 3 means.
2 knocks, okay. 3 knocks, they're getting your point.
Yeah. But not everything.
Say that's mocking the truth.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could be just someone just.
I don't think a lot of people say demon. A lot of people say demon.
Yeah,
I think that's a Hollywood word. I think this is my thought, and Eli's thought, and a lot of our friends' thoughts. When you're one of those nasty old men that say, "Get off my lawn, kids," and you're one of those guys, when you die, you're still going to be that nasty old man.
Yeah.
When you die at 40, the rest. I mean, like, I don't believe death is a final chapter. I just think that's the next step we move on to. Because, come on, if there's spirits, like you said, Jen, all around us, so when we die, we can haunt our children.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah, okay. You say that, but I'm no offense. I mean, like me, like I thought that I would do that, but
I'll haunt you, Eli. You better know I'm coming for you. We're not bound by earthly possessions anymore. We can go where we want to go.
Yeah.
We don't have to be bound by Earth's rules.
Nope.
That's why I think there's so many spirits. Like, not every house is haunted, but when you do go into a house, or you go in like the Hinsdale house or Selma Mansion, or there's stuff in there. They're actually not living, but they're there and you hear them. And I think that's the coolest freaking thing. One day I'll get at one of those big places. One day. Right now, well, I live like 30 minutes from Prescott. I'm in Arizona. So I'm close to the palace, close to all the Wild West stuff up there. We have a cemetery that was dated back in the 1800s when Prescott became a town. So I'm going to get up there. But we've had snow and rain, and that's no. Can't go out in the rain and snow. But I'm trying to get Eli here so I can take him too. So me and I'm trying to get into the palace. The Ghost Adventures did the palace. Nobody else has done it.
Yeah, but it sounds like a Chinese food place. You know what I mean? The palace. Chinese food place.
That's where they play poker at, bro.
Oh, I didn't know that, dude. I don't have one here.
No,
They're all underground. You know what I mean? Like
there are underground tunnels, but the old timers say they are, but the other people say no, they've been bricked up. See, kill her. Let's go, Jax.
So, have you guys ever done a Ouija board?
Yeah, we have.
Oh wow! Tell us about it, please.
Nothing to tell. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So you think it's just a lie about it, or you think that like you get attachment towards that some unclean spirit comes from there, from beyond? What do you think about that?
From my experience using one, since nothing happened, I don't know, to be honest. We used one at Wildwood, right? Was it Wildwood?
Yeah.
We used one at Wildwood. Nothing happened. I know the girls, I don't remember who, have used one when they were children. They can tell you their stories. Yeah,
Well,
Jana.
Jen and I and Jana used one too when we were kids.
Yeah. Wildwood was, I think, my first time using one, and nothing happened, so I kind of just, shook it off.
Off with that, like then it goes back to you on your porch,
Yeah.
No. What do you guys think about like sort of like so what do you think? Do you think spirits come out at day or night?
They're out
All the time.
Doesn't matter.
They are. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you think that ghosts can like talk to you through your dreams?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree. I think that's.
I think that's one of the easiest ways to talk to someone.
Mhm.
How do you get rid of an attachment? If you guys have one that's really menacing, like how do you guys get rid of it?
That's a good question.
Honestly, you'd probably have to go see a specialist because
Yeah.
Oh, let me
We're
go see my
not,
GP.
What I have an attachment. Can you get rid of it for me? Shaman,
Like Reiki.
Yeah.
A
what do you
Reiki
do?
specialist.
Alt around you or something? I don't think there's a real concrete way to do that. I mean, who are you going to go to? Like, I mean, they're not in the yellow pages.
No.
Okay?
No.
You can't do that.
I think the paranormal community is much more popular and much more wider. I'm sure you could go speak to a psychic medium and they might be able to put you in touch with someone who could help you better.
Like we're meeting a lot of people, so
Mhm.
we can definitely reach out to the people that we've met to find out for somebody.
Yeah.
So how about dowsing rods? Like, have you guys ever tried them out?
I love those.
Like, how do you do it? Like, do you get like a vibration off of the spirits, like when you like use them?
Yeah.
It's like they pull, like you could feel like it's like you can feel their energy. Like your hands will get tingly sometimes, and then they'll just like move them, and like you're not moving because if you would move them, they would swing so easily.
Yeah.
So they just get them to move so slowly. It is so neat. That's how I communicate at my house with the spirit.
We've used them before. We played hide and seek with them
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
at Penhurst.
Wow. Like, how do you guys like? I know you guys can't do a whole like Pinhurst, like, is there certain locations that it's not haunted and some are?
At Penhurst or just locations in general?
Locations.
Um,
Like, they tell you like, this place is less haunted and this this side of the house is.
Yeah, we'll go in and they'll say like, this room may be more active. Like we get more activity in this room versus, this room. And I think a lot of their stuff kind of is based off of other investigators coming in and obviously their own experiences if they live there.
Okay. All right, cool. What about funeral homes? Have you guys ever investigated on them?
No.
An
That'd be a good
old one,
idea, though.
Chase
wow.
Manor was once kind of
that's
like a,
right. They did
like
they did embalming and stuff too.
they were like, I don't think they embalmed there, but I think it was like a viewing room. like a viewing place.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that is wild, man. Like I mean, I couldn't do it. Like I worked security at once. At one of them, you would hear like a little kid running up the aisle, like because they were gonna they're gonna have a funeral for a kid. He was 8 years old, and you would hear a little kid just running up the aisle back and forth.
Oh,
There would be
Wow.
nobody there. Nobody. Then you hear people like talking in the back. You know where to put the dead bodies at? The bodies they to keep cool and stuff like that. The freezers, and you would go in there. There was nobody. And they're like, I wonder if my uncle's going to come see me today or my cousin. They were just talk to each other, you know. And I'm just like, wow, that's wicked, you know. Like I'm out of there, you know what I mean? I'm not going to stay there long, you know. That's just me. So I'm in.
That's Anthony too.
Location.
What was
Have
the
you guys
question?
have you ever ran out of a location because of the
Oh.
activity?
Definitely. I have 100 times. 100 million times.
Oh hell no, that'd be me like 100%. You know.
Yeah, no, I think I've ran out of a lot of rooms by now. Yeah. I ran out of Wildwood. I peeked my head in. We're doing an alone challenge. I like peeked my head and I was like, "Hi, I'm Anthony." And then I was just like, "I can't do this." And I turned around and left.
15 seconds.
The video isn't out yet, but for Penhurst, I went down a tunnel by myself and I like stopped halfway with my camera. I was like, "No." And I just turned around and ran.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, I run a lot. There's like one rule with me. Like I'll do whatever equipment anyone wants to use, I'm fine with that. I just don't go off alone. I refuse.
Yeah.
He talks about it and then
Oh yeah, all the time. I hype it up. I'm like, we should all go alone. And then we get into the place. I'm like, I lied. Let's stay together.
All the time.
No. Well, it's kind of true because just like you could be behind Jen and you have your personal experience and you're like, oh hell no, like or see a corner of ice will be coming at you and you're like, oh hell, but she didn't see it. Jen didn't see it. You know what I mean? Like it's wild. No, I couldn't do it. Or if a door shuts hard on you. Have you ever had anything got thrown at you?
No, but I want to.
Yeah, it's funny because usually you don't want to hear people say you want to, but we want stuff crazy to happen. We want doors to shut on us and like slam.
Have you asked it to? No.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we
every
ask. We always
investigation.
My biggest thing that I want to happen is I want to get. I know this sounds horrible, but I want to get scratched just because like you can validate that. You can't really like. I don't have nails. You can't.
Hell no, man.
So I asked them at a lot of locations, like scratch me, never happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get caught. I'm
I've
gonna
never
get
been
copyrighted.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
he meant
guys,
to break it, but he broke.
we're gonna go to end this, guys. I know you guys tired. You guys has been a long day for y'all guys too, and yeah, thank you for coming up. When's gonna be your next investigation?
I don't even know.
Hopefully, Rolling Hills Asylum.
Rolling Hills. Oh, cool. I heard about that.
Ooh, I
Awesome.
want to go there too. I watch a lot of ghost stuff. That's crazy. That place is crazy.
Yeah.
So we've heard.
gigantic boy. That's what I want to see.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming up. I appreciate
wanna
it.
go.
And
Go to Ed Lorraine Warren's museum.
Oh,
Could you imagine going?
yeah, I
all
want to
that
go there.
off-
That's gonna be awesome. That would be
That's
awesome.
Just the energy off all that stuff. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Why? Well,
Definitely
he's not frustrating me, Ron. He's over there.
Ron.
Ron's starting crap in chat. Look at that shit. Starting to crap in the chat.
Don't crap in our chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
don't
use the
crap in the
bathroom.
chat, Ron.
Come on. I talked to
Yeah,
Ron.
Ron.
He goes, I talked to him on the phone today. He goes, man, now I gotta use the bathroom every time you call. And I'm like, well, shit, why call? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, he's always blaming Jason for something, and I'm always so confused. He says,
Yeah.
White Wolf is my
what do you
boyfriend.
mean?
I don't know what he says when he's just trying to eat like he's a little shit starter, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Chat crapper. That's good. Chat crapper. I like that one, Brad. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Rolling Hills, guys. I can't wait till you come
Yeah.
out with that. That'll be
Same
awesome.
here.
Do you guys ever do like lives? Like live on location? Do you ever do those?
So we've done a live at Selma on TikTok, and we're fairly
okay.
new to the live game.
Mhm.
So we're hoping to do more, but I feel like sometimes going live kind of takes you out of the investigation because you kind of want to be interactive with the people who are watching. And they're
Right.
asking you questions and you don't want to like ignore them. So I think what like we may do is maybe we'll just take like an hour and kind of like have like an investigate with us like live,
That's cool.
and then just keep it at that. Just do a little short time, and then we can get back into doing our investigation and focusing on talking to the spirits.
What's your TikTok name?
I believe it's Ghouls Paranormal. I'm sure if you type in Ghouls Paranormal, it'll come up.
Dear, back up. Yeah, I
All
have
right,
TikTok,
guys.
so I have to go.
Thanks for coming up, and like I said, thank you for believing in our journey, and thank you for letting us believe in yours.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is good. This is fun. I like you
It
guys.